Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah Harvey. I am your health coach, life coach, herbalist, massage therapist, and healer. I want to do this video today talking about the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system being in fight or flight or rest and digest, and how I'm combining that with kind of good and evil and health and sickness. And we'll see if we can piece it together and understand it a little bit more. So we have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic nervous system is rest and digest. Everything is calm and relaxed. You feel safe. The sympathetic nervous system is trauma-based. It is fight or flight, panic mode. So I am going to attach more of a spiritual meaning to this. So if we can, the concept of Satan, and for those of you that don't believe in Satan, then the adversary, the enemy, negative energy, whatever term you want to use, the goal of the enemy, the goal of Satan, is to divide and conquer. It's a spiritual battle. And we've got two sides. You've got good and evil. They're both fighting to win. So you've got the enemy, and his main goal, his number one focus, is to destroy the family. Because the main focus of humans and of God is to heal the family, to heal the entire family bloodline from beginning to end, to heal the genetics, the DNA, the soul. As it travels from person to person, the goal of what we're being here on earth to learn and go through is to heal and find our way back to God. So it's a constant fight of flesh and spirit, ego and spirit. And so Satan, his main goal is to keep us from that. By dividing and conquering, he attacks our family unit, because if he can divide the family, then he can attack the soul, the individual. That's why there's such a mark on the family, and that's why there's so much emphasis in today's world. If you're blind to it, you can easily be hypnotized and manipulated to follow earthly trends of thinking that children are a burden and to abort your children or just not have them, to think that marriage is selling your soul, basically. You lose your freedom, to think that everything's about you and not your family. While you should put up proper boundaries, it's not about completely severing all ties and walking away. So the way that I'm seeing this is Satan comes through trauma and stress, and he throws everything at you. He throws every stumbling block in your way to make you fall and pull you into trauma. So through that, he gets your nervous system, and that becomes the sympathetic nervous system is triggered to where you are in fight or flight. Now, when you're in fight or flight, you are in a very selfish state of mind, because you're the only safety. You are the only one that you know won't hurt you. So it's a very selfish mindset, because it has to be. Because in order to survive, you have to only focus on yourself. That's what survival mode does. I've been there. I can speak firsthand. So when you are in fight or flight, the parasympathetic or the sympathetic nervous system is triggered, and you become very selfish. It's all about you, and the family has friction. The family falls apart. The individual becomes sick, traumatized, so on and so on. during that time, the enemy is winning. So Satan's winning the war at that time. So God, on the other hand, wants us to rest and digest. So fight or flight is very selfish. It's living in the ego. It's living by addictions. It's whatever you can to just keep going. So it's very unhealthy. Rest and digest is the way we should be when we're healthy. And that's God, and that is surrender and trust, because that's where healing is. It's in surrendering and trusting. So the main goal is to dig in to our trauma responses, to our triggers, and realize that we have to be very selfish to heal. But the goal is rest and digest and surrender and trust. And that's kind of what we're dealing with overall, each person in the world, really. It's all about flesh and ego or spirit. Are you going to choose your trauma response of, it's all about me, I have to be selfish to keep going, I'm in fight or flight, I'm in survival mode? Or are you going to choose rest and digest, which is, this is really hard, it hurts, but I surrender and trust because I want you to heal my life, my children's life, and my family's life. So that's kind of a deeper spiritual connection to our nervous system and what's happening when we're in fight or flight or rest and digest, and the spiritual battle that's taking place behind the scenes during that. So the goal, no matter which one you're at, is always move towards surrender and trust. And that will take you out of the fight or flight into rest and digest. So I wanted to shed a little bit more light. It can help you understand where your loved ones are when they are, when you see other people being very selfish. It's because they're in trauma. They're in fight or flight. They are in survival mode, and that's a selfish place to be. Do not allow the enemy to divide and conquer. So the way to heal that is to understand, and for you to surrender and trust and follow whatever urgings that God's telling you to do at the time, and love. Be compassionate to those that are still in survival mode. We all are. And so be compassionate to those that you see reacting in a way that is triggering, and be compassionate and loving and kind. And that is what's going to bring everyone back together. Rather than, batting heads when you're triggered, be compassionate, loving, and kind, surrender and trust, because it's all for your greater good. If you give into it, trust it, and learn from it. So I just thought that was interesting to see things a little bit deeper. Everything is physical and spiritual, and that's my take on the spiritual side of it. You guys leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Have a good day.